guys, how's it going? It's Joy here. I am back again with another live. I hope that everybody is doing swell and staying safe. So, you guys, this video is not going to be too long because it is Sunday. Let you know again, I am a narcissist abuse coach. I've been dealing with narcissists since 2006, and since 2017, I have been helping former victims, now survivors, heal, move on, and recover after dealing with narcissistic abuse. So, you guys, as you can see, the title is called When Your Boss and When Your Coworkers Are Narcissists, how to navigate that, how to, cope with that, how to, go throughout your workday knowing that you have a narcissistic boss and potentially you could have narcissistic coworkers. Now, this topic came up, and this is definitely going to be a series because you guys know I just released my new book called Employee to Entrepreneur, Tips on Surviving a Toxic Work Environment. So, and I'll be sharing with you guys more on, what happened to me while working in a toxic work environment. Hey, Blue Flash, what's up? Hey. Welcome. And when you guys come in the room, make sure you say hi, you give the video a like, and also let me know how's your day going. So I've dealt with a narcissist boss before. I think I was telling you guys that it started in 2020, but it was mainly the bosses that were coworkers. Sorry about that. But the most recent job that I had, you guys, so not only did I feel like some of the bosses were worker that stalked me, harassed me, and got a group of people to do the same. And I don't know what that individual told those people. I'm assuming that individual made up lies about me or whatever. But apparently, whatever that individual said, those people believed it. And so, that can be really scary because, some people, they don't ask, or, they're just quick to believe what people have to say. So you really have to be careful, when you get information or you hear stuff, whether it's gossip, it's drama, stalking me, following me on my lunches and my breaks, and waiting for me outside of the job environment. Now, I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. And what was so crazy to me, when I had told the big boss lady, she pretty much dismissed it. She ignored it. She made it seem like it was insignificant. And I was really shocked because I was just like, wait, I'm in this environment and I didn't really know who that person was per se, but I knew what they were doing and I knew what they looked like. I knew what they looked like or whatever. And I knew it was something that was off about them, And but yeah, that person did that. So they pretty much got a group of people to like follow me around at work and to see what I was doing. So, and I knew why that individual was doing it. I knew it was over a guy. I understood that. But to me, it was crazy because I had never been through that. I had knew narcissistic behavior because you guys know that I grew up in a narcissistic household with my auntie. Well, I was already mature in age, but from ages 17 to 22, I lived with my auntie who was a narcissist. So I had that experience of being able to recognize a narcissist. And then not only when I lived with my auntie, hold on, you guys, let me take off my jacket because it's a little hot in here. But not only when I was living with my auntie, I ended up meeting a male narc online, and that was actually a business type of situation. We were, doing business, and sometimes things happen, and you start talking to someone, you start liking them and things like that, and one thing leads to another kind of thing. But anyway, long story short, so luckily I had that experience of actually dealing with a narcissist that I could recognize that individual in the job environment for what they were. It was a female, actually. It was a female. And I could recognize it right off. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a narcissist, right? And so, yeah, so that happened to me. So this was an actual coworker in a work, right? And so that was an interesting dynamic. Blue, I missed you too. Yes, one of your aunties is narcissistic also. Okay, how do you handle that, Blue, if you don't mind me asking? Aren't you in India, Blue? I think you're in India. And Marcel, hi. Ronnie, hi. Hey, guys. Make sure you get the video a like, so other people that's in our work environment, they can understand how to deal with narcissistic bosses and narcissistic coworkers. Because you know what's crazy, you guys? Like, Indian. Okay, cool. What time is it out there in India, Blue? I always wanted to go to India myself. Do you recommend it, Blue? Go taking a trip to India? What are some good spots out there? But yeah, so I had that experience and it was tough, you know, because it was almost like an everyday that this person was following me around at work, following me around on breaks, lunches, and like waiting for me outside at the job. You know, and if a person doesn't understand what's going on, that can really frighten them, right? It can really make them scared. It can make them feel intimidated. I'm assuming that that individual, that narcissistic coworker, I'm assuming that they wanted me to leave, or you know, they was trying to get me fired. I'm guessing that's what happened, or that was the whole point. But what's crazy is that that individual ended up getting fired themselves. So you know, karma works in mysterious ways. You know, so again, always remember, when you put evil out there, you get evil back. You know, so that's what I always say. You know, if a narcissist harms you in any way, they hurt you, they upset you, they mock you, they mistreat you, you don't have to worry about getting them back, because God's going to get that person back. You don't have to do anything, because a lot of the times the narcissist has bad karma. So if you react to them in any way, you're going to tell people. Blue, you said you'll meet me? Oh my goodness. And so you know what's crazy, Blue? I had some Indian food lately. I'm not gonna lie, I was not a fan of it, but I forgot what it was. A an Indian restaurant. It was a DoorDash that I got. And I think I had that some, you gotta please forgive me because I don't remember. I didn't really like it. I'm a pescatarian, so I didn't eat the meat. But I think it was a samosa or something like that. Is that one of you guys' national dish of food? It was a samosa. I think it was Indian fritter. It was a vegan vegetarian plate that I got. The rice was okay, but no, it didn't sit well with my taste buds. I don't know if maybe I do want to give Indian food a try again, just because I'm open to it. I love trying like different culture foods, but that Indian dish is just, I don't know. I was not really liking it, but I'm kind of open to seeing going on. But and Alexa, yes, subscribe. Everybody subscribe to the channel. Do I like Joe Biden? I'm not really a huge fan, to be honest with you. I'm not really into politics either. I'm not a politician person. And Blue, you said yes. I avoid samosas because the oil. Yeah, I don't know. I think honestly, Blue, it could have been the oil that the food was cooked in. It kind of turned me off. And I remember the fries that I had from the Indian place. It was sweet potato fries, which was okay, but just the other food that was around it, I don't know if it was the oil that you're in a situation and you're dealing with a narcissistic boss. My best advice, because again, I never tell anybody what to do at all. You guys know that I'm only here to share with you what I've gone through. And, you know, I just, you know, try to help people avoid the things that I've gone through, because you know, when you're dealing with a toxic boss and a toxic coworkers, that's difficult. And if you are a hard worker, you know, you're just in there, you're trying to make friends with people at the job, like you're just going in, clocking in, doing your work, you go home, that's it. But the fact that, you know, maybe if you're harassed or you're stalked or you're being bullied or intimidated, that's a lot for a person to handle. And I've honestly, you guys, I felt traumatized by that I worked at. It was a super traumatizing experience because I had never gone through, even though I had been on narcissistic people and I experienced narcissistic abuse, but in a job environment was extremely different. And it was difficult because I had to focus, and like the good thing is I did keep my focus and I stayed on track. And the individual that did all that stuff to me at the job, I know that person lied on me, spread all this stupid gossip about me. And I'm pretty sure that person is watching now. I really don't care. But yeah, that person did all of that to me. And I never said anything to that person. With me and that individual, we never had conversations. That person didn't know me or nothing like that. So, that was crazy to me that happened. And you have some narcissists, they will do stuff and they don't care. Like, I'm assuming that person only did that because I guess they wanted money from somebody. Like, you got to keep in mind, you guys, narcissists will do anything for money. They don't care about people. They don't care about your feelings. They don't even care about themselves a lot of the times. They only care about, getting a certain outcome or trying to control something or trying to manipulate something. So, desperate people will go to desperate measures, but like I said, I'm glad that I survived that. I'm also glad that I survived a toxic boss, because a lot of, unfortunately, the job that I was working at, the bosses were so corrupt, you guys. And it wasn't just the people that was there in the environment, but this came from the higher up. So like site director, his boss, her boss, like it keeps going up the chain. Like I found out so much like corruptness in that job environment. It was just ridiculous. And it was really disappointing to know that they behave that way, and they were so like just unprofessional and so cutthroat, like so like hostile towards their employees, the people that are coming in and actually making them money, that's actually growing the business for them. They treat them like crap. I'm like, no, like, you get what I'm saying? So a lot of the times, you have to have enough respect for yourself, and you have to value yourself and know your worth, and understand that, you deserve better. Even, it doesn't even have to be regarding a relationship. It could be regarding a work environment. A lot of these employers, you guys, I hate to be like, I mean, well, I'm not saying all jobs are like this, but I would say the majority of jobs do not respect their employees, do not value them, do not appreciate them, and they just see you as a number. You can be replaced within a day or two. Like, they don't care, and I think that's what motivated me to write that book, is because I got so fed up with being in toxic work environments and around toxic coworkers and toxic bosses that are just, you know, they don't care about their employees. They if something were to happen to you, they'd be like, oh, okay, like whatever. Like, they don't. There's no empathy. There's no sympathy. There's no interest in that person's life at all. So it's just like, why am I wasting my time here? Like, you get what I'm saying? So, if you're in that situation, just understand you're not alone, but also remember that there is something that you can do. You don't have to stay there. Now, others of you may feel like, oh, well, I have to stay, because I got to do this, I got to do that. I get it. And honestly, I had said that to myself. I was like, oh, I got to stay here at this job because I got to do this, I got to do that. It's a mind thing. I'm telling you guys, like, your mind will play tricks on you. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And really the biggest thing is you got to get close to God, because God will lead you and guide you and show you where you need to go. And sometimes, and what I've learned, you guys, about God is, like, sometimes if you're on a spiritual journey, and maybe if you have a close relationship with God, God could use you and take you into certain toxic environments to try to help change people, right? So if people come across you and they betray you, they mistreat you and stuff like that, then God is like, oh, okay, that's it. This is over with, and judgment comes on that place. But, if you're going into an environment and, God sent you there to change, and the people change, and that place has a chance. But if you go in an environment and the people do you dirty, then that's it. That environment or those people are doomed. So that's just something you do want to keep in mind. Give me one moment here. You said South Indian food like dosa is more healthy. Okay, I definitely want to try that for sure. You said it's interesting that many narcs make their way right up the court. Yeah, a lot of them are very flying monkeys, and like I said, where I worked, the individual that decided that they wanted to target me, like I said, they did that. And I don't know what they thought was gonna happen. I don't know, but like to me, like I knew it was going on, but I never said anything because I'm like, well, what am I gonna say? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it was just weird. And yeah, I know that that person still does other stuff, but I'm just like, I don't care. It's like, at the end of the day, you don't try to control the narcissist. That's the worst thing that you can do. Never try to control the narcissist because you can't control them. They're evil. You get what I'm saying? So you have to control yourself. You focus on controlling yourself, and that's all you got to do. Heal yourself and just block that person out of your life, and you'll be good to go. Now, a lot of times that's not always possible because I know that some of you guys, for one, maybe you might work with them and you might feel like you have to be there. So I get that. And others of you, you have family members that are narcissists and you feel like you don't want to cut them off because you might feel guilty about it. But trust me, I've had family members that are narcissists and I don't feel guilty at all. I don't feel guilty about it because, you know, I realize my worth, I realize my value, and I know what healthy connections feel like. I know what healthy friendships feel like. And I hold on to that. And I'm able to recognize the difference between the two, right? So you have to be able to recognize that as well. Um, but yes, I'm like I said, Blue, I'm down to of trying more Indian food. I want to give them another chance. Like I want to maybe go to like another restaurant because I feel like the place that I went to, it could have just been the oil because it was a to go order. So I don't know if I would have like sat down, maybe it would have been a different experience. But I'm open to giving them another try. But what I had, it was just, I don't know. I was not a fan. I was kind of disappointed. I was looking forward to it. I'm like, oh, you know, I never had Indian food before, you know, and stuff like that. But when I had it, I was like, oh, man, you know. So that was interesting. But yeah, so if you guys, oh, Blue, you said one of the highest Hindu gods called Krishna says, and the Hindu scare scriptures to keep silent. Yes, I would say if it's a narcissistic individual, a lot of times they're trying to get you to react, right? So they get off on like making you upset. They get off on getting a reaction out of you. Some of them get off on just attention. They a lot of them are just attention hungry. A lot of them want to drain you. A lot of them, some of them are jealous and they're super envious. They give you the evil eye. Some of them do magic. Some of them try to steal your identity, like all types of crazy stuff, right? So, you know, if you're dealing with that type of person, me personally, what's worked for me, because I'm pretty sure if I would have reacted in that job environment, it would have been all types of crazy stuff. Because I'm assuming that that person wanted me to say something to them or like to like do something to them, because you know that type of narcissist is the type of narcissist that call the cops on you, try to get you in trouble or something like that. That's that type of narcissist, right? So, you know, in that case, you got to really exercise your self-control. If you don't have yourself in control, then the narcissist, you will play right into their trap. Like a lot of the times they try to set you up big time. They try to set you up to make you go crazy. Like a lot of the times too, this person that was this coworker at the job that I was working at. So every time I would get up and take a break, this person would walk in the same area where I was at, and she'll try to like walk past me. Or if she knew like a certain spot where I would like walk through in the office, she'll try to make sure that she's there like every single day. Or she had like another coworker do it. I think there was one, it was a gay person. It was a gay one, and then it was a big one, and then it was a dude. So it was about three people watching me and stalking me at work and talking mess about me. I'm pretty sure there's more, but I know that that person also did magic or does magic on me as well, and another friend of mine or whatever, and watches me and leaves like little silly comments. I know who the person is. I'm not stupid, but you know, sometimes you just gotta play dumb. Unfortunately, you know, when you're dealing with a narcissist, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, you can't control them. You gotta control yourself. That's the most important. So if you're dealing with a narcissist, you are the most important person, not narcissist. The narcissist hates you. They a lot of times they want to see you gone and out. They want to take you out. I'm assuming that that person at the job was trying to take me out, or I'm also assuming that whoever that individual, you know, what she was trying to do to me, I guess it worked on other people, but I guess this person got mad that it didn't work on me. So it is what it is. I mean, me, I would never do that, especially over a guy, like, or over money. It's just like, bro, like, that's just ridiculous and it's desperate, and it's just, that stuff never works. It always backfires, you know? So, I mean, I don't know how that person was raised. And now you got to know, narcissistic people, they grow up in toxic environments too. The key difference is between narcissists and normal people. Normal people do the healing work, right? Normal people do the healing work so that way they don't become a narcissist or they don't become a magnet for the narcissist. Now, you could do the healing work and still be a target for the narcissist, but the key is you have to use your intuition, and you have to be firm on your boundaries, and you have to be the person where, like, you know, you're assertive and you're not afraid to put your foot down, or you're not afraid to speak up, or you're not afraid to defend yourself and things like that, right? So yeah. Krishna says in the Gita that silence is golden. Silence will save your life when it comes to being around a narcissist. Because like I said, the narcissist wants you to react. They want you to go crazy. They want you to act a fool, because remember, the narcissist has already talked crap about you already. So you guys know the narcissist does a smear campaign, right? They smear you. They call you crazy. What's crazy is the stuff that they do to you. All the evil stuff that they do to you, they lie to other people and say that you did it to them. That's how rotten they are. They're so rotten. And I always tell people, don't expect these people to change. Like, you're wasting your time when you're expecting a narcissist to change, or you're having hope that, you know, things could get better. It's not going to get better. And the narcissist doesn't want it to get better. They want drama with you. They want, you know, chaos and mayhem. They want that with you. They do. Why do you think they do what they do? They could easily just let stuff go, but they want to keep on, because a lot of the times they feed off of stuff like that, you know? They grow up in environments like that, and that's just who they are. You know, they don't like peace and quiet. They don't want to get along, you know, they don't want to let stuff go. That's because they're wicked. You know, and a lot of them, they're possessed. They're possessed demons. I knew, like, the person at the job, I knew that was a demon. I'm like, oh, I already know. And what's crazy is, like, my auntie, even though she was a narcissist, I could, because of the experience that I had with my auntie, I could recognize that person at the job. I was like, oh, okay, I see. Yeah. So I was like, you know, in a way, I can, not saying I can thank my auntie, but I'm glad that my auntie behaved that way to me, because in the future, I could be like, oh, I could recognize and see, you know, and all that good stuff. Because if I didn't, I don't know, like, how I would have reacted. You know, a lot of people are afraid of what they don't know. So that's why it's really important to educate yourself, to learn this stuff, to heal. Because I'm telling you, if you don't heal, you guys, you can fall victim to narcissistic bosses, narcissistic coworkers, narcissistic friends, narcissistic associates. Because again, these narcissists aren't going anywhere, unfortunately, and you're not going anywhere if you're a normal person. But sometimes you may have to work with them, right? Sometimes you may have to communicate with them, and you got to know how to keep your cool. You got to know how to keep your silence, because the narcissist hates when you don't react. Because remember, it's all about getting your energy, right? It's all about getting a supply. And if you're not giving them anything, then they have to go somewhere else, right? You know, and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that happens. And but like I said, this is going to be a series, so we'll do more videos talking about this. But like I said, I didn't want to do too much of a spoiler alert, because a lot of this stuff is in my book. I highly recommend you guys getting all of my books, but get the latest one, Employee to Entrepreneur, Tips on Surviving a Toxic Work Environment. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, like, it was a lot. Like, and even like when I was writing a book, there was another environment that I was in that was really uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was extremely uncomfortable, but I overcame that as well. But we'll do another video on that, you know. But that's all I want to talk about today. So, like I said, if you're dealing with a toxic, narcissistic boss, my best advice is just try to get away, because, at the end of the day, your mental health, physical health will be affected if you're in these toxic work environments. And it's like, you don't want to sacrifice that over a job. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not worth it at that point. Because what's crazy is, like, the job that I was working at, there was so many people, not only were they getting fired, but they was just walking off of the job. And to me, if that's happening, that should be your sign, like, hey, this is not it. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, you might have to get creative and do your own thing. But I'm not saying anybody, like, hey, quit your job. I'm just saying, like, you might want to try to find something else that you can do while you keep your job, and see what else is out there. Because a lot of people were changing at, like, the job environment that I was working at. They were getting sick. They were not showing up. Just their whole demeanor, their whole attitude was changing. And there was just so much gossip and drama and chaos, and the performance was just going down the drain. And it's just like, well, look how everybody's getting treated. You know what I'm saying? And the customers were rude, and it's just weird, Blue, you said, what ticks off narcs big time is when you ignore them completely and pursue your own success. Krishna said, yeah, of course. Like I said, you don't have to get revenge on the narcissist. You want to know what the best revenge is to be successful. Severe depression, they might have, deal with impatience, or maybe they might deal with ADHD, all types of stuff. And so, I would say don't even go there. Don't go there with them. They're going to try to tempt you. Now, I'm not going to say they're not. They're definitely going to try to tempt you. They're definitely going to try to poke the bear. They're definitely going to try to get on your nerves. They're definitely going to try to get you upset. They're definitely going to try to get a reaction, but don't even go there. Don't even do it. Just focus on yourself, and that's going to piss the narcissist off so bad. It's going to piss them off. But you know what? Remember what they did to you. Because I know a lot of you guys are angry. I know, trust me. It is not pretty. A lot of the stuff that they do, they know is wrong. They know it's wrong, but they do it anyway. And you be like, okay, no worries. Just leave it to God. That's why I keep God first in my life, because I always allow God to fight my battles. Has never been anybody in my life that has ever done me wrong. God has always taken care of them. So that's why I'm like, you know what? It's outside of me. I'm gonna let God deal with it. You get what I'm saying? Because God will do more than what you can do. Because if you do something, you're gonna get in trouble. And that's what the narcissist wants. They want you to do something. They want to trigger you so you can get yourself in trouble. No. You allow God to deal with them. And God will handle them the best way than you can ever do anything to the narcissist. God will do it better than what you think you can do. Trust me. But yeah, but we'll talk about that more in the next live. But thank you, Blue, for your chime in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Blue. And if you guys are feeling called to, make sure, if you like to see more of these videos, make sure you leave a donation. If you feel like this video has helped you in any way, or any of my past videos, or even my books, or whatever the case may be. And I did do a session yesterday. It was awesome. So if you guys want to book a session with me, you want to talk with me in any way that I can support you on your healing process, whether you want to talk about, narcissism in your workplace, or family narcissists, associates that are narcissists, co-workers that are narcissists, make sure you visit my website. Book a session with me, or inquire about my book. Make sure you can pre-order my book today. You can get it. Excuse me. Or I do readings also. No magic. None of that's done. I don't do black magic. None of that. Because I know the narcissist that watches me has told all these lies on me. So I'm just confirming that I don't do none of that weird stuff. I know that narcissist that watches me has done that to me, and does it quite a bit. I know they're watching, and I know that they do magic, but it's not going to work. So you might as well just stop. Okay. So yeah. What else? But yes, if you want to reach out to me, visit my website. If you want to leave a donation, you can send me a donation at PayPal at livenarc9@gmail.com or at Cashapp, which will be $Coach Joy 510. So anyway, I thank you in advance, and you guys know whatever you give, it comes back to you tenfold.